guys, welcome to episode 5 of Relocate. Today's a special one. Today we are in an ancient village, once known as Ielmu, I believe. Pardon my spelling, pronunciation that is. In 1791, Jose Navarrez labeled this little pocket Langara Point. That was 1 year before Captain Vancouver actually arrived at these shores. The amazing home behind me is currently listed at $60 million, the most expensive home in the country, I may add. Today we are in the pinnacle of Vancouver real estate. Today we are in West Point Grey. So guys, West Point Grey is bordered by West 16th to the south, Alma Street to the east. The west jogs down Blanca, Drummond Drive, and Belmont Avenue. And of course the north is trumped by the water and Northwest Marine Drive. Okay guys, now this is the history segment, and this is a big one as well. Now way back then, 1792, 1 year after the first naming of the area, there was a meeting of the captains, if you will. Captains Valdez, Captain Vancouver, and Captain Galliano. It was a meeting offshore, and they, at that point in time, named Spanish Banks and English Bay as they were looking back at this beautiful land. Okay guys, let's jump forward to 1865, where Jeremiah Rogers set up the first logging camp right here. And the first order of business was to take down the massive fir trees that this area had. The strongest spars in the world, he said. What are spars? What are spars? I didn't know either. Long, thick pieces of wood, traditionally used as sailboat masts, and the longitudinal, that was a new word for me as well, wingspans on planes. There you go. So the 1870s brought the first whaling stations to the area, and then the 1890s, the government jumped in, as they always do, and set up military operations in the areas we now know as the Jericho military base, of course, and the lovely UBC right up the corner there. An anti-submarine reconnaissance base was based right here in Point Grey, if you can imagine. An airfield was placed up here. These were the 1920 war times here in Point Grey and what this area saw. Additionally, they would map the coast from up here. This was the home base of that, and track illegal immigrants into our beautiful city through the mouth of the Burrard Inlet there, as well as the rum runners coming up here with that illegal good stuff from the US. Okay guys, now in 1908, the municipality of Point Grey was finally established, pulling itself away from the municipality of South Vancouver. And that year, the council really wanted to build an identity. So they got the water system out into the neighborhood at that time for the first time. They built Northwest Marine Scenic Drive there across the beach, along the beach, I should say, and they started and completed the Jericho Golf and Country Club just at the other edge of Point Grey here. Last but not least in our history lesson, in the next year, in 1909, after establishment, a one-roomed schoolhouse was built to house the 24 children that lived in the neighborhood. That schoolhouse wooden schoolhouse, naturally, still stands today on the bluff overlooking Queen Mary School, which was then established in 1914. Jericho, Locarno, and Spanish Banks. These are the three main amenities, now that we're in the amenity section of the video, that Point Grey has to offer. There are many more, but this is the bulk, the beaches. Westmount, Trimble, Jericho Beach, and Hastings Mill Parks are the four main parks in the neighborhood. There's plenty of green space everywhere, as you'll see once you enter Point Grey, but those are the 4 main ones. And Hastings Mill Park has a little something special we're going to jump to at the end of the video. Now for shopping amenities in the area, we've got West 10th as the main artery street. We've also got some shopping pockets along Alma, and of course just off West 10th as well, right by Queen Mary School, is the West Point Grey Lawn Bowling Club. So schools, of course, are another huge draw to the area. We've got Pacific Spirit School, we've got OLPH, we've got West Point Grey Academy, we've got Jules Cornell, we've got Queen Mary, as we've discussed, and of course the creme de la creme, the one that you want your kids to go to, Lord Byng Secondary School. Created myself and millions others like me. The schools in West Point Grey are simply the finest. Okay guys, now for the beloved real estate section of the video. To give you some perspective, in 1897, there were 54 homes in Point Grey here. Fast forward to the 2016 census, and there was 5,480 homes located here in Point Grey. So the development, as we can imagine, in that last 100 some odd years has been immense. Okay guys, some real estate related history as well for the area. Now in 1912, the municipality wanted to get the neighborhood moving and get development pumping. So what did the city do? They applied a tax, as you can imagine, on all undeveloped lots, which created a rush of people to go in, get building permits, and get building. Now in 1922, funnily enough, right here in Point Grey, the first ever city bylaw was passed. And what that stated is that you can only build your home and any applicable outbuildings, which I'm assuming means outhouses back then, on your lot. And now we know there is an absolute Britannica of building bylaws out there, thanks to that one start right here in Point Grey. And in 1924, the commercial side of the neighborhood really began to go, and the first 40 shops were built along 10th Avenue between Tolmie and Trimble. Now for the actual real estate, lot sizes here in West Point Grey range from 2,000 square feet all the way up to 125,000 square feet. And homes currently listed in the neighborhood range from 2 million all the way up to that amazing $59.9 million home today. And of course, in the last 24 months, we've got sale prices ranging from 1.3 million all the way up to 20 million, and lot sizes ranging from 2,700 square feet all the way up to 66,000 square feet. Okay guys, and last but not least, as I said, a little bit of historic gold here. This is Hastings Mill Store. This is the oldest building in Vancouver. This was built in 1865, and this was originally the first industrial building in Vancouver as well, but was the store to the actual mill. Now from that point, once the mill closed, it became the first post office in Vancouver, then the first library in Vancouver, then the first community center in Vancouver, and now it is a museum inside. The building was relocated to this spot here at Hastings Mill Park, where it renamed the park also in 1930. And that is your little piece of historic gold. If you come and touch this building, you're touching over 150 years of history of this beautiful city. And that wraps us up today of episode 5 of the Relocate series. We are here deep in Vancouver's west side in West Point Grey. If you have any questions about any of the history or amenities we've discussed today, please comment below. And any questions on the real estate, please contact me direct. And I look forward to seeing you in the next week. Thanks for watching.